Take you back, do 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 do, take you back.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Frampton versus the Southern conference call. Your host for today, Kelly Swanson, will begin.
Thank you, operator. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. What an exciting conference call we have today. Of course, we're talking about Carl Frampton versus Leo Santa Cruz, the rematch. It's number 2, as well as Dejan Zlaticanin versus Mikey Garcia. And before we get into the particulars about those matchups, I just want to mention that it is Saturday, January 28th on Showtime Championship Boxing. It's a doubleheader presented in association with Premier Boxing Champions and live from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. Tickets are still on sale for that event, which is promoted by Ringstar Sports in association with Cyclone Promotions and TGB Promotions. We do have all 4 fighters on the call today, and we're going to actually start with the main event, mainly due to timing, because Mr. Zlaticanin is located in a different time zone. But before we get into the fighters and what they have to say about the event, I would like to introduce Steven Espinoza, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Showtime Sports, who will talk a little bit more about the matchup. Steven?
Thank you, Kelly. Showtime, again, is continuing to deliver the biggest fights in the sport, the most important fights, the most meaningful fights. Coming off a December show in which we saw the featherweight title change hands with Abner Mares taking the title, and a stellar show this past weekend with a title unification fight, or at least an attempted title unification, and the emergence of a potential young breakout star in Gervonta Davis. We're thrilled to keep the momentum going with another stellar card. Our co-feature, it is a cliche, but it is absolutely true. This is a co-feature that really has the ability to stand on its own as a championship fight. Dejan Zlaticanin, a young man who won his world title on Showtime, one of the most avoided fighters in the lighter weight divisions, a guy no one wants to fight, no one other than, of course, Mikey Garcia, who needs no introduction, an A-plus resume, pound-for-pound regular. This is a great style matchup, the all-out aggression and power of Zlaticanin versus the boxer-puncher and Mikey. It's an intriguing fight. In our main event, truly needs no introduction for me of fight of the year. It was a title unification last summer. Carl Frampton moving up in weight to take on Leo Santa Cruz. It was, no exaggeration to say, it was all-out action from the first bell to the last. And having spoken to both of these fighters, we don't expect anything else. We've got a stellar Showtime Extreme card as well, which is highlighted by another featherweight world title fight in Lee Selby making his defense, and other very strong supporting cards as well. We're very happy that this fight is headlining in Vegas. It's the kind of stage that this fight, this card deserves, and it's particularly great to see the featherweights back headlining in Vegas. It really harkens back to the days, some of the golden era of Barrera and Morales and Pacquiao Marquez in lighter divisions when they were headlining in Vegas, and I'm glad these very talented fighters are getting the spotlight. Kelly?
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to lead with the main event for this conference call, and this, of course, is a rematch. This fight was up for Fight of the Year candidate, a World Championship featherweight bout. The first one took place in July at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and now they're going across the country to fight in none other than the boxing capital of the world, Las Vegas. So first I'm going to introduce Leo Santa Cruz with a record of 32-1-1 and 18 knockouts. He fights out of Los Angeles, California, and he's a former world champion at 118, 122 and 126 pounds, which makes him a three-time world champion. Leo, would you like to make a couple comments, and then we'll introduce Carl. Leo?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hi, Kelly. Thank you very much for your introduction. I really appreciate it. And yeah, no, I'm very happy. I'm anxious to step back in the ring for the rematch right after the first fight. When I heard the decision and I got my first defeat. There was nothing in my head that other than the rematch. I wanted the rematch because I knew I made some mistakes. I knew I wasn't the best I could perform. So I said I could improve on things, and I think I could get the victory next time. So nothing since that time. Nothing has been in my head other than the rematch, and I'm just very anxious. Motivated to go out there and give another great show. The first fight was a great fight for other fans that they love, and I'm just happy and motivated to go out there and do the same. Another great fight, even better than the first one. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Leo. And now I'm going to introduce Carl Frampton. Mr. Frampton is 23-0, undefeated with 14 knockouts. He comes from Belfast, Northern Ireland. He's a former world champion at 122 pounds, making him a two-time world champion. And he also became the first Irish fighter to win a world title at multiple weight classes when he beat Santa Cruz in July to win his featherweight world title. Carl, a couple words?
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. I just want to kind of back up with what Leo said. I think that this is going to be another great fight. I think that the last time, it was talked about as one of the fights of the year, and I think with our styles, I think they just gel really well together. I don't think it's going to be any different this time. Whatever happens, it's going to be competitive up until it ends. But I think that what I've been doing this time in training camp, I feel like a fully fledged featherweight now. I was going into the unknown the last time I fought Leo, my first fight at featherweight, but I feel like a developed featherweight now, stronger, bigger, punching harder, and I feel like, again, I'm going to get the win.
Okay, thanks, Carl. And I will ask you to move a little closer to the speaker. Not able to pick up the phone because it's a little hard to hear you. Before I open it up to the media, just a programming note. We will be sending out the fight week schedule for next week immediately following this call. We're just tweaking a couple notes for you. So go ahead, operator, open it up for the media, and we'll begin the questioning. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press star one on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star one on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Okay, our first question is going to come from Keith Idek from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
Yes, my question is for Leo. Leo, how has training camp been different this time around with your dad being there the entire time now that he's feeling better? And if you could just update us on his condition as well.
Oh yeah, hi then. The training camp the way it has been different is I have my dad. The first camp I didn't have my dad with me, and me and my brother were doing something that we thought it was gonna be a good game plan. But my dad is a smart one, and when it comes to that, my dad is the one. He's always watching boxing. He's always watching different styles from different boxers, and he knows how to fight like different styles. And this time having him there in the gym with me, he's telling me specifically like what punches I could throw with Frampton, how to fight him, and stuff like that. And he's always there pressuring me, pushing me, giving me that extra motivation and everything, pushing myself harder to train out, to go out there and give it my all. And I think is, with different strategies we've been doing, and also the main thing is that, my dad, we're gonna go with a great game plan to go out there and try to beat Frampton. That my dad, he's always right there telling me how to beat him, and now having him there, we're not gonna have no problems over there once we get in the fight. Because last time, me and my brother worked one game plan, and then once we got over there, my dad wanted me to fight him a different way. But since my dad wasn't here, we didn't come with a great game plan. We had one thing, and we had trained one thing with my brother, and then when my dad got there, he wanted us in one way, so we got confused. We got a little bit frustrated, but this time we're gonna go perfectly, and we're not gonna have no distractions.
How much better mentally have you been in this camp with your dad being there and you not having that weight of his health hanging over your head?
Big difference. In the first camp, I think I was worrying more about him, about his health, how he was doing, if he was gonna be able to go to a fight with me, or if he was even gonna wake up the day of tomorrow to be there with us. Because cancer is a very dangerous disease that you could be here with us, and then by the day of tomorrow you won't be here with us. But now, thank God, his cancer is in remission, complete remission. That he's doing a lot better, and so my mind is clear. My mind is right now. The only thing on my mind is the fight. That I want to go out there and do a great fight for other fans, and hopefully be another fight of the year.
Leo, when I spoke to Carl on the phone last month, he was saying that he thought there wasn't much more that you could do in the second fight. While he was expecting a difficult fight again, he didn't think that you could improve much on what you did in the first fight. What would you say to that? What ways could you improve?
Yeah, no, that's all right. That they think that, because that way they're gonna be thinking that I'm gonna go fight the same way. But no, I could change it up. I just like to brawl. I like to go out there and make it a fight, because that's what the fans love. The fans love for fighters to go toe to toe, action fights, and that's why I always try to go out there. But that's why people say that I only fight one way. But if the reality is that I could fight anyway. I could adapt to any way. I could box. I could move. But the truth, I don't really like moving, because I like entertaining the fans, because they go out there to see the great fights, wars, toe to toe. But then they tell me that at the end of the day, you have to be smart. You have to fight for yourself. You have to go out there and win. And I could do that. I could fight. And for this fight, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna go out there and try to make it for me to so that I could come up with the victory and victorious. And I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna be surprised at what I can do.
Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My first question is for you, Carl. Carl, how you been, buddy?
I've been doing good.
Good.
Camp's been going well, Dan. Yeah.
Glad to hear that. Listen, my question for you is it's an interesting situation, because many people awarded you the Fighter of the Year honors for 2016, based largely on your victory against Leo, as well as your win against Quake to unify the titles at junior featherweight. So you're going to be you're getting all these awards. You got it from me at ESPN. You got it from I think the Ring magazine. I suspect that you'll win it from the Boxing Writers when it's announced in a couple of weeks. But yet, so you're going to have a lot of clippings and people congratulating you and slapping you on the back for a great 2016. Yet you have this fight literally the first month of the new year. How do you keep yourself on an even keel from being excited and happy and looking forward to perhaps the BWA banquet and getting the awards and all that kind of stuff, but also knowing that it would kind of really be depressing to have to go to pick up your 2016 Fighter of the Year award if you're coming off a loss to Leo Santa Cruz, in the rematch?
Yeah, I'm not really thinking about that, to be honest. I think that it may affect other fighters picking up all these awards and put pressure on them, and certainly it puts a little bit more pressure on me. Especially going straight into the new year in 2017 with such a difficult fight. But I have said since I turned professional that I perform best under pressure, and what these awards are doing is simply just filling me full of confidence. And I want to go out and prove that these awards are justified, that I deserve to be the Fighter of the Year last year. And I have to kick off 2017 in style, and I'm going straight in at the deep end again, a rematch with a 3-weight world champion, a great fighter in Leo Santa Cruz. But I want to prove that these awards have been justified, and 2016 wasn't a one-off. I think 2017 potentially can be better than last year.
Let me ask you this then also, Carl. The first fight was, at least from my perspective, sitting outside the ropes, was a hellacious, very hard, tough, physical, grueling fight for both yourself and for Leo. Just a real rock'em sock'em fight. You guys just really laid it all out there for the fans, and it was obviously one of the best fights of 2016. How do you get yourself mentally prepared for that kind of battle again? And can you do that again? Can you fight at that level and that kind of ferocity once again, knowing how tough of an opponent Leo is and how hard that first fight was? I mean, do you guys have this in it again? Do you have it in yourself again to do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think, once you've done it once, you always know you can do it again. And I was kind of, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, really, in the last fight. My first fight at featherweight. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't think I could have fought at that pace at 122. It was making 122 was taking something from my performance, and I just felt like a better man at featherweight. So it was a bit of a risk for me to fight so hard from the start, but I did, and I was still punching. At the end of the fight, I feel like the last round was close, but I feel like I may have nicked the last round. And it shows you that I've got it that in my locker. But once you do it once, you have it in your head, you can do it again. And there's a few adjustments that I want to make in this fight to make things a little bit easier for myself. I've been trying different things out in the gym, but I'm prepared for whatever Leo has to throw at me. I understand this is going to be a difficult fight, but if I make the adjustments that I've been working on in the gym, I think that I can make the fight a little bit more comfortable for myself.
But are you still expecting another? Oh, sorry.
If I have to go into the trenches, I'm going to do it. I'll do whatever it takes to get this win.
But in your heart, do you expect another rumble?
Yeah, I think with our styles, that's just what's going to happen. I think with Leo's style in particular, he's just, he's a typical Mexican fighter, a real warrior, non-stop, and he just tries to overwhelm opponents. And his style works against a lot of people. And it could work against lesser opponents, but I've got something different. I've got a lot of grit and determination, and I can give it back as good as it's dished out to me. So, but I'm expecting, again, another exciting fight. I think if we fight 10 times, they're always going to be good fights.
I would agree with that. Leo, I'd like to ask you about that also. Sort of what I asked Carl about is knowing how hard that first fight was, how do you mentally prepare yourself for what inevitably will be another extremely tough fight? I mean, knowing what you put each other through that night was, as hellacious as it gets in boxing. Are you prepared to do that again, and how do you get yourself psyched up for that kind of really hard, rough fight?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I am excited, because I love to give great fights. I love to give fights that the fans love, that they're always talking about, that they say, it was a great fight and everything. I even get more motivated, to go in the gym and train hard. The only thing I do is train harder and just motivate myself. And when I'm in the gym training, I give that extra push so that once I go up there, I could do the same thing in doing the 12 rounds, hard 12 rounds. Because, all that matters is if you train hard in the gym and you give it all your best, once you go out there in the ring, you're going to go out there and do the same thing. The same thing is going to come out nicely, the things you've been working out. And that is in my head. That's how I always prepare for my fight. I want to go out there and make the fans happy, give a great fight for other fans. And yes, at the end of the day, when I hear them talking about the fight, how great it was, that's my reward. That's my reward of going out there and preparing all this time.
Do you expect it to be a similar kind of battle? I mean, I don't know
yeah.
At this stage of your careers if you're going to both change your styles in any significant manner. I mean, are you expecting, like I asked Carl, another all-out rumble?
Well, in my side, that's what I want to do. I want to go out there and try to make it a better fight than the first one. Make it a rumble and everything. But what I've heard from Frampton is that I don't think he's not gonna stay and bang this time with me. I think he's gonna try to move more and everything. So in that case, if he's gonna change it up, I could change it up too. I could box, I could stay in the inside, not jump myself, not launch myself in and everything, and do things that are gonna benefit him. And I'm gonna fight his fight, But once we're up there in the ring, we're gonna see how he's fighting, how we're doing, and my corner is gonna be telling me what fight to fight him. If go on the inside and put pressure on him, or just to box him and stay on the outside from using my reach. So, but whatever he brings, I'm gonna bring. And if he wants to make it an action fight, I'll make it an action fight. But we gotta be smart out there. And I'm gonna go out there, and of course, I want to please the fans and I want them to go home happy. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna go out there and do what I think is best for me, what is gonna make me win the fight. And if I have to box, I'm gonna box. If I have to put pressure, brawl, and everything, I'll do whatever I have to do just to get the win.
All right, very good. Thank you very much, guys. I look forward to seeing you next week. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Ryan Elliott from the Boxing News TV. Please go ahead.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having us. I've just got a couple of questions for Carl. Firstly, Carl, in spite of the fight being over in Vegas and much closer to home for Leo, do you still think you'll feel like the A side when you walk into the ring with so many fans heading over to support you?
I think that in the arena, we're probably expecting a little bit more than Leo from ticket sales and the feedback we're getting back from the arena, which is a credit to my support, really. You know, they'll travel far and wide to see me, and obviously it's very expensive to get to Las Vegas from Belfast. I'm expecting Leo to have more support this time in Vegas than he had in New York. Obviously, you can drive from LA to Vegas, so he'll bring a lot more support. So I think, although the atmosphere in New York was incredible, I think again it's going to be even better. I think that there's potentially about 4,000 coming from back home, Northern Ireland, south of Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales. They're coming out to support me, and I think 4,000 will sound like 8,000. So it's going to be a raucous atmosphere, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty unanimous among boxing fans and writers and such that the decision in New York was fair, and the decision in New York is usually of a high standard anyway. Do you worry about being on the wrong end of a poor decision in Las Vegas, though?
No, I don't think you can. You know, if I approach a fight and go into a fight thinking about them sort of things, then it's not the right frame of mind and the right attitude to take into it. I'm just hoping, and I'm pretty confident that the judging will be fair. I feel like it was fair in Vegas. You know, it was a good fight, fair in New York, but it was a very exciting fight, and I'm just hoping that we get to see him out here in Las Vegas, and I'm confident we will.
Right, thanks, Carl. All the best to both of you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Lynn Satterfield from Premier Boxing Champions. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My first question is for Carl. Carl, do you think that Leo's tendency to want to brawl, I mean, first, you know, after having faced him once, do you think that plays into your hands, particularly after watching the first fight and knowing what you know about how it worked out the first time?
Well, it potentially it does. You know, I'm a fighter. If you look at me and my stature, you know, I'm a short, stocky guy, and people just look at me and automatically think that this guy's going to be a brawler. But I prefer people to come to me, and I prefer to box on the back foot, if I'm being honest. You know, I can mix it up on the inside if I have to, but I think that right through my career, amateur to professional, I've always preferred guys to come to me, and Leo, you know, Leo just keeps coming all night. So I think his sort of style, it's a great style, it's an exciting style, but I think that it's tailor-made for mine.
So in other words, when you hear him say that he can do these other things, he can box, do you think that ultimately he will fall back on what you call the typical Mexican?
Yeah, well, I'm ready for whatever style that comes from Leo. If I'm being honest, I think he's trying to throw me a dummy. I don't think he's going to try and box at all. I think he's just going to, you know, try and even put more pressure on and become more relentless than he was the last time. I think that's their game plan. And if he does try to box me, I think that I honestly think that that's a mistake from their team, because it makes the fight much more easier than for me.
You have an answer for his potential for going to the body?
You know, that's all well and good. People go to the body all the time. I'm ready for whatever it takes. You know, I feel like I'm developing into a solid featherweight. You know, if he goes to the body, it gives me a chance to hit him to the head. So it doesn't really matter. I'm expecting a tough fight. You know, he went to the body a lot the last time also. So I believe I'll have an answer for anything that he shows up with.
Thank you, Carl. Leo, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Leo, you have quite a bit of success in in Las Vegas. Maybe not your biggest fight, but some significant fights. The first fight that you had there was the stoppage of Eric Morrell, who retired, and then you're 6-0 with 4 knockouts. Do you feel good about fighting in this venue as opposed to, the first time being in New York and not having fans there? Is this more familiar to you, and given your success rate, you feel more comfortable here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I feel more comfortable there in Vegas. I fought there many times. I think 6 times I fought there, and I fought in big cards. There was a lot of people, and that's what I love. I love to hear the people cheer on for me and scream and motivate me. They give me that extra push. And when you don't have people cheering for you, like it happened over there in New York, well, it's like it puts like pressure on you and everything, and it I don't know, but I think it brings it a little bit down. But not like I said, there's no excuse, nothing. But I am very comfortable and happy for the fight to be here in Vegas because it's close to LA, and I know a lot of people are gonna come support me and everything. But also I know Carl Frampton is gonna have a lot of support, and because they're gonna take this as a great advance to come and know Vegas, the people that from Ireland and everything, England, and they're gonna come here to travel and to get to know Vegas and take that as their vacation and stuff like that. So I know he's gonna have a lot of crowd too, and it's gonna be. I hope it is fair, 50-50. That way, there won't be no advantage for me or for him. That I want it to be fair and square, so that there won't be no later saying stuff that it was because of mine. So I hope it's 50-50, and that we get the same respect and everything from both sides.
Last question for you, Leo. Do you concede at all that the cards in New York were fair, or do you think that you won the fight or that it should have been a draw?
The truth, to me, that I hadn't watched the fight, and I barely watched it like this past weekend. I watched it, and the truth, the fight I thought was pretty close fight. I thought the fight was really close. It could have gone either way, but maybe it could have gone my way too, like by 1 point or 2. But I don't know if you see it that way because it's me, or I don't know why. But that I think in my decision, I think the fight was pretty close. It could have gone either way, and it was just a really hard, interesting fight. That in my opinion, it was pretty close. It could have gone a draw, or maybe even a point. It could have gone my way by a point or 2.
Thanks a lot, guys. Good luck in the fight. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. You're welcome.
Our next question is going to come from Robert Morales from the LA Daily News. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Carl, I just have one big question for you. I know you already had to have been pretty big and pretty popular in Northern Ireland, but with this victory, can you talk about the reception that you got when you went back home, and are you even bigger now?
Yeah, obviously, it was a big deal to become the first ever Northern Irishman to win world titles in 2 different divisions, and I've always had great support from back home. But this time, we went back, and I had a bit of a reception. There was maybe 6,000 people turned up to welcome me back home, and it's just with each fight, I seem to be getting more fans from back home, and obviously I'm very very grateful for that. But I think a lot of credit then has to go to guys like Leo Santa Cruz, because people back home, they understand boxing. They want to see me involved in fights with great fighters. So I think the fans enjoyed the last fight, especially the ones that couldn't make it out. They enjoyed it, watching it on TV, and I think it's important for me to continue to box fighters of this caliber for the rest of my career.
Okay, thanks, man. Good luck.
I believe this is the last question for this group.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you guys, you did a great job. If there's any one closing comments you'd like to make, but you certainly summed up your sides of what this fight is going to mean for both of you.
Yeah, no,
Closing comment? Go ahead, Carl.
Well, yeah, well, I'll just keep it short and sweet. I just think that, again, it's going to be a great fight against two great fighters who are willing to do whatever it takes to get the win. You know, two guys with a lot to live up to here, especially coming off the back of our last fight. And I'm sure Leo will say the same, that no matter what happens, this is going to be a great fight and one not to miss.
Okay, great. Leo?
Yeah, no, my message to to other fans, to the media, Kelly, to you, to everyone. Thank you for making this fight, and I just wanna let you guys know that this is gonna be another great fight. No matter who the winner is, we both guys that we're doing this for our family. We're going out there to give our family a better future, and I respect that, and that we're doing this for the fans. And once we go out there, we leave everything in the ring to make a great fight. And I know this fight is gonna be even better than the first one. So I encourage other people to watch it on live right there in Vegas, or they could watch it on Showtime. And yes, that they don't want to miss this fight, because we're both fighters that we're gonna go out there and get the win, and that makes it better for a even bigger fight. So I just want to tell you guys that you don't miss the fight, and thank you for the support, and thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, media, stand by. We're going to make the transition to our next bout.
Thank you.
And just as we're doing that, I do want to remind everybody that this doubleheader is on Showtime starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's Showtime Championship Boxing, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And prior to that, there is a Show Extreme starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope I have that right. No, 8 p.m. Eastern Time with Lee Selby and Jonathan Barros and David Benitez and